Please subscribe to Bear Nerd Fund. Smash the like button. Goodbye.
Hail to all. We do not need. Hail to all. Now come on, Hollywood. Stop smelling your own farts. You might get mistaken for arse sniffers. Remember, when you go woke, you go broke. Hail to Fandom Menace. Hail to all. This is to you trolls out there on Facebook. Keep trolling. We'll keep ignoring you and blocking you. Go on. Yep. Trolls. Remember, trolls ain't human. They're trolls. Hail to Fandom Menace. Got an article coming up. Going to talk about Daniel Craig. Going to talk about what he said and potential backlash that can happen because of what he said. You know, you treat the fans horribly because they have an opinion or because they think differently than almighty Daniel Craig. Yeah. So, trolls out there. Keep trolling. I'll keep blocking you. Have a good one. Hail to the Phantom Menace. Well, Daniel Craig cordially invites you to shut the F up about Phoebe Waller-Bridge-Writing Bond. Hey man, I don't care if a woman's writing Bond. If she writes a good story, doesn't preach, sure, we can get behind a kick-ass story. Yeah. As long as she writes a kick-ass story and doesn't virtue signal and just writes a good story for the sake of a good story. When Phoebe Waller-Bridge was brought in to push up a script for No Time to Die, it was a very celebrities. They really are just like us moment. It was Daniel Craig who suggested Waller-Bridge for the job, thus revealing the world that James Bond is just as big of a Fleabag fan of the rest of us. Fleabag fan. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And folks, keep in mind, I'm used to making videos on my laptop that needs a cooling fan, so I'm using a format that I normally don't use. So keep that in mind. Yeah, Fleabag, huh? Waller-Bridge was specifically brought in to apply some of the famous wit to the Bond 25 script, which also counts Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, and Scott Z. Burns, and director Kari Funaga. I messed that up. Yeah, fumbled that. You know, we're human, we make mistakes, and sometimes we say names wrong, and, that is if you're human. And I forgot, trolls aren't human. They're trolls. During a recent chat with the Sunday Times, Craig was asked about Waller-Bridge's hiring, but instead of inquiring about her contributions, the tone of the plot of No Time to Die, the interviewer wanted to know if the mastermind behind Fleabag and Killing Eve was a diversity hire, and 007 had no time for that bullcrap. Look, we're having a conversation about Phoebe's gender here, which is effing ridiculous. She's a great writer. Why shouldn't we get Phoebe into Bond? Hey, you know what? I agree. She should be a director as long as she don't frickin' virtue signal and writes a good movie, good characters, not to push agenda. I'm behind that. If she wants to do that and write a good movie, write a good script, direct a good movie, I'm all for it. I don't care who writes or directs, whether it's male or female. I care about the story. As well, most people should too. Yes, exactly, but also, I know where you're going, but I don't actually want to have that conversation. I know what you're trying to do, but it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. She's a effing great writer, one of the best English writers around. I said, can we get her on the film? That's where I come from. I had my eye on her ever since the first Fleabag, and then I saw Killing Eve, and what she did with that was just wanted her voice. It is so unique. I've never heard of these movies before. Sometimes it is absolutely the right move to use a director or a script writer that's an unknown, because they have an unknown, untapped talent. With that, and just wanted her voice, it's unique. I'm very well privileged to have her on board. Daniel Craig knows his place in the privilege to have Phoebe Waller-Bridge involved in this movie, and he will not accept any inferences to the contrary. Thank you, and good day. So yeah, now, I'm saying if Phoebe writes a good script without no virtue signaling, I say support her. I say go to this movie and say, hey, Daniel Craig, we're not going to this movie because you're in it. We're going to it because Phoebe wrote a good story. And that's what we're behind. Absolutely will support it. The hell with Daniel Craig. If she writes a good story, that's why I'll go see it. If she writes and directs a not so good story, maybe I'll still go see it if there's no virtue signaling or anything like that. No jabs or stuff like that. Maybe I will. Hail to the Fandom Menace. Oh, and by the way, trolls, go get it. Now come on, Hollywood. Stop smelling your own farts. You might get mistaken for arse sniffers. Remember, when you go woke, you go broke.
Please subscribe to Bear Nerd Fun. Smash the like button. Goodbye.
Say hello. 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 Say hello. Hello. Say nerd fun. Nerd fun. Nerd fun. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Hail to the